It is about the human skeletal system. Actually, in the syllabus of this UGC NET, there is no any skeletal system, but for understanding these all, like determination of the personal identification, like sex, age, stature of the person. For understanding that, you need to know about the terminology of the anthropology. I mean, terminology of the all bones, all 206 bones of the human skeletal system. So I am explaining about the skeleton system also. So human skeletal system or skeleton system. So there is different bones again. So whenever we are observing any newborn baby, there is more than 600 bones in the newborn baby. So whenever the baby is becoming more age, and also when baby is getting more age, and also when baby is becoming adult, then there is changes in the number of the bones. So whatever the 600 bones, they are actually in the loose form. So with increasing the age, they are fusing and they are forming like one bone. Like 2-3 bones are forming only one single bone. So there is decreasing in the number of the bones. So that all more than 600 bones, they are attaching one to another and becoming 206 bones only whenever we are becoming adult. So human adult, that adult human body is having 206 bones. So the skeleton system actually it is having bones, cartilages, and joints. Bones, cartilages, and joints. Joints means that whatever the two bones joints, like whenever we are observing hand bones, these two bones are joining with this cartilages and joints. So here especially discussing about the bones only. So an adult human skeleton is having 206 bones. 206 bones. So coming to the human skeleton system, it is divided into the 206 bones are actually divided into two. So axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. So these two terms are important, axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. So coming to the axial skeleton, so it is having axial skeleton forms axis of the body, axis of the human body. So it is having 86 bones, and remaining 120 bones comes under the appendicular skeleton. So in the axial skeleton, that 86 bones are again like in the different parts. So coming to the skull, skull is having 22 bones, and this skull 22 bones are divided into cranial bones and also facial bones. So the face which is having bones, which are facial bones, and also the cranial vault, the cranium of the skull, which is having cranial bones. So both skull bones are 22 bones. Then coming to the hyoid bone, it is actually neck bone, which is only one single bone, hyoid bone. But whenever in the child age, it is having different parts again, but it is again fused into form only one single bone, which is the hyoid bone. Then vertebral column, which is having 33 vertebrae, 33. So the chest part, which is having vertebral column, which is having vertebral bones. Vertebral column, which is the vertebral card, or this thing. What is that? Vertebral card only. It is having 33 bones like this. So vertebral bones are like this. So these all are the individual bones in the vertebral column. Then coming the next one is these vertebral column, that 33 bones, are again divided into different types. So the first cervical bone, there is 7 vertebral bones in the cervical bone, cervical vertebrae. So we can call it a cervical vertebrae. Then thoracic vertebrae, then lumbar vertebrae, then sacral vertebrae and coccygeal vertebrae. So the entire 33 vertebral bones, they are divided into 5 types of vertebral bones, like cervical vertebrae. So the vertebral column starts from where it is connecting to the foramen magnum, this hole of the skull, to the backside of the body, So it is divided into 5 parts based on their function and based on their structure of the bones. So cervical vertebrae, there is 7 cervical vertebrae. So the first, starting at the neck, at the back side of the neck, there is cervical vertebrae, which are 7. Then thoracic vertebrae, actually in front, where in the chest area, we are having ribs. So ribs at the back side, they are connecting with the thoracic vertebrae. So we can call it as thoracic vertebrae. Then the lumbar vertebrae. After the thoracic, lumbar vertebrae. Then the sacral vertebrae. Actually, this is the sacrum. So this is the sacrum, which is having sacral vertebrae. Then the last part of this sacral vertebrae, We can call it as the coccygeal vertebrae. So there actually, if you observe that sacral vertebrae, there is 5 vertebrae actually, but that 5 are fused into form only one single bone. And also coccygeal vertebrae, there is 4 vertebral bone in the coccygeal, and that 4 are fused into form only one bone. So these all are the 33 bones in the vertebral column. So then the rib cage, which is the front side of our chest or our body, which is the rib cage. There is 12 pairs of ribs. There is 12 pairs of ribs like this. 12 pairs of ribs like this. Then the sternum. So these 12 pairs of the ribs, 12 pairs means 24 bones. 24 bones. So these all are actually connected to the sternum. Front side it is connected to the sternum, and back side, as I said, they are connecting to the thoracic vertebrae. So sternum. So you can able to see here, this is the sternum. So these are the actually this ribs, rib cage ribs. There is 12 pairs of ribs. So these are the connecting to the sternum. This is the sternum, sternal bone. So individually, I'll explain about the individual bone in the next slide. So you mainly focus on that term of the bone and also the location of the bone. Then, so these all are the comes under axial skeleton or axial bones. So skull 22 bones, hyoid 1 bone, then vertebral column 33 bones, then rib cage 12 pairs means 24 bones, then sternum 1 bone. Actually, sternum is having 3 bones, but they are fused into only one single bone, which is the sternum. So these all are comes under the axial skeleton, which are 86 bones. So the remaining 126 bones comes under the appendicular skeleton. It is having 126 bones. So it consists of, again, same like axial skeleton, these bones also again divided into different parts. So bones of the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle, there is 4 bones. What is the pectoral girdle? We can able to see here, this at the collar area, we can able to feel that one bone, which is the collar bone. So the two sides, 2 collar bones, and the back side of this part, shoulder. So that shoulder is having shoulder bones. So the 2 shoulder bones and 2 collar bones, we can call as pectoral girdle. So 4 bones. Then the pelvic girdle is having 2 bones. So I showed that sacrum. So the sacrum is having the sacrum individuals. I mean, each side of the sacrum there is 2 bones, which are the pelvic girdle. Sacrum is comes under the axial skeleton, but the 2 pelvic girdle bones are comes under the appendicular skeleton. Then bones of the upper limbs means hands. So limbs means hands and legs. So upper limbs means hands and lower limbs means legs. So upper limbs are having 60 bones. So 30 bones one hand, 30 bones one hand. So 60 bones. So same like that upper limbs, lower limbs also having 60 bones. So 2 individual legs are having 30 bones, which are 60 bones. So they are becoming 126. So these 126 bones are comes under the appendicular skeleton. So the both appendicular and axial skeleton bones are becoming 206 bones. So coming to the axial skeleton. First, axial skeleton. So this, whatever you are able to see in the blue color, which is the axial skeleton. So we discussed about the skull. Skull is having 22 bones. Then the hyoid bone, the neck bone is the hyoid bone, which is in the front side of the neck and which is having more important in the cases of hanging. In case of hanging, which is having more forensic value. The fractures of the fractures of the hyoid bone is having more value in the hanging cases. So this is the skull and hyoid bone. Then this, whatever you are able to see, these are the ribs. They are actually 12 pairs. 12 pairs are 24 bones. Then you can able to see here that all ribs are coming and contacting with this individual one single middle bone, which is the sternum. We can also call it as breastbone, which is actually center of the body. This is the breastbone, and you can able to see this lengthy one, which is the vertebral column. So the starting, it is connecting to the skull. It is connecting to the skull, and it is also connecting to this pelvic girdle. This whatever the white color bones, these 2 are the pelvic girdle. So it is connecting to that. So from this length, whatever the length of the vertebral column, it is having 33 bones. So these are divided into 5 parts. So these all are different bones in the vertebral column. So this is the axial skeleton. You can able to see here also. This greenish colored one is the axial skeleton, and this whatever the purple color, it is the appendicular skeleton. So this is the axial skeleton, and remaining is the appendicular skeleton. So you can also see here, this is this whatever the purple color one is the appendicular skeleton. Then see this, whatever the reddish color, It is the appendicular skeleton. So in the appendicular skeleton, what are the bones involving in this appendicular skeleton is, so you can able to see here, this is the shoulder bone, this whatever the back side bone, which is the shoulder bone. So you can able to see this is the actual shoulder bone, So you can also able to see this clavicles. Clavicles are collar bones. I'll explain about the terminology again. So these are the collar bone. It is actually in the front side. So this is this one. So these are the this thing, pectoral girdle. So two shoulder bones, two collar bones, four bones comes under this thing, pectoral girdle. Then coming to the hand bones. See that a hand is having 30 bones and this hand is having 30 bones. Total 60. Same like that, legs also, our lower limbs also having 30 bones. Next, these two, which are actually connected to the vertebral column, and also this lower limbs. These two are the pectoral, these two are the pelvic girdle. So these are becoming 126 bones. So this is in the appendicular skeleton. And coming to the individual bone about the axial skeleton. So skull. First, we are discussing about the skull. So in the okay. So skull is having 22 bones. So the bones of the skull are divided into two groups, which are cranial bones and facial bones. So if you observe this skull, whatever the face is having that facial bones, which are 14 bones actually. And the cranium, that whatever the roof of the skull, which is cranium, or we can also call it as cranial vault, which is having these cranial bones, which are 8 bones. So coming to this cranial bones, so you can able to see in the image first. So cranium is having 8 bones. They are frontal bone. This whatever the dark greenish color, which is the frontal bone or front bone. Then the parietal bone. This is the parietal bone. You can able to see the labels also. Parietal bone. Then the temporal bone. This is the temporal bone. Again, that light greenish color. So I also focus on the number. Frontal bone is the 1 bone only, and the parietal bones are 2 bones. So each side 1 bone. Then the temporal bones are again 2 bones, each side 1 bone. Then occipital bone, which is the back side of the bone, which is useful in the identification of the sex of the person, sex or gender of the person, whether female or male. We can able to identify with the occipital bone. So then the sphenoid bone. So this whatever the light reddish color, which is the sphenoid bone. Then ethmoid bone. Ethmoid bone you can able to see is this in from that eye bones. So from that eye orbits you can able to see that little one, which is the ethmoid bone. So these all are the bones, the cranial bones. So I'll explain in this. So you can able to see this. This is the skull, and this front part is the frontal bone, which is only one bone. Frontal bone or front part bone. Then coming to this parietal bone. So in the image that there is one side, they are showing one side image only. So it is the parietal bone. They are showing this parietal bone. So this is the parietal bone, and also same parietal bone also present on the another side. So there is 2 parietal bones, one in one side and another in the another side. So these 2 are the parietal bones. Then the temporal bone. You can able to see here. This is the temporal bone. So actually this is the fused. So I'll show in this one. So you can able to see this. So this is the parietal bone. So this is the temporal bone. So okay, this is the temporal bone, and the same temporal bone is also present on another side. So these 2 are the temporal bones. So next, occipital bone, which is the back side of the skull, which is the occipital bone. Then the sphenoid bone, you can able to see here this the little one here where I have showing. This is the sphenoid bone, and ethmoid bone. You can able to see from here. So you can able to see this is the ethmoid bone. So this is the ethmoid bone. So this is the ethmoid bone, one bone only. And sphenoid bone, you can able to see the sphenoid bone from the both side, but it is actually only one bone. It is only one bone. Inside it is only one bone, so we can able to see from the 2 sides. But these other bones like parietal, temporal bones, these are actually individual bones. There is 2 number bones, parietal and temporal bones. But sphenoid is the only one bone we can able to see from the both sides of the skull. So these are the 8 bones in the cranial bone. So frontal bone. This is the front one, frontal bone, and 2 parietal bones. Then the back one is the occipital bone. occipital bone, then the temporal bones, two sides, and also sphenoid bone and the ethmoid bone. So these all are the 8 bones in the skull. Then again, so you can able to see this frontal bone and also parietal bones, because they are actually in the big sized bone. So you can able to see with this skull. Then I'm showing the individual bones of this remaining things. Temporal bone. So you can able to see here orange one. This is the temporal bone. This is the location of the temporal bone in the skull. So this is actually like this temporal bone, and also there is 2 temporal bones individual side. Then the next one is the mastoid process. Mastoid process. So if you observe the skull, so see, this is the front side and this is the one side. So you can able to see this part, it is actually below the ear or back side of the ear. So this is the mastoid process. You can also feel like this whenever you are touching that back side of the ear. This is the actually, there is some sharp-like structure. So sharp bone-like structure, which is the mastoid process. So based on this mastoid process structure, we can able to identify whether it is female skull or male skull, male or female skull. We can able to identify. So you can able to see here it is. So this is the mastoid process. Mastoid process. So these all terms again comes in the individual identification like sex, age. So you can easily understand there about them. If you learn here mastoid process, this is the large protrusion you can able to feel here whenever you touch. So this is the mastoid process. Then coming to the sphenoid bone. Sphenoid bone. So as I said, the sphenoid bone is actually this is the temporal. Sphenoid bone is actually one bone only. We can able to see from the both sides of the skull. We can able to see from the both sides of the skull. So it is actually like this. This is the sphenoid bone. So this one is the sphenoid bone. Sphenoid bone. Then coming to the ethmoid bone. Ethmoid bone. So this is, so in the skull, in between, it is actually in between this 2 eyes are 2 nozzle. 2 nozzle bones are 2 eyes bones. That is actually it is inside. So we may not easily able to see that. And this is like structure. This is the structure of that ethmoid bone. It is also one bone only. One bone only. So these all are about the cranial bones. Cranial bones. So after learning about the cranial bones, you can able to see the structures. There is zigzag-like structures present on the skull. We can call it as sutures. Sutures of the cranium. So actually, as I said, these 8 cranial bones are individual bones. They are fusing with these sutures. Whatever the connection between the individual cranium bones, we can call it as sutures. So initially, whenever the baby born, actually these bones are like separated bones, like this. There is large gap between the individual bones. We can call them as fontanelles. Fontanelles. Fontanelles are actually gaps between the cranial bones. So with the increasing the age, there is also increase the size of the head. So the bones also will increase their size. So they will come and fuse. So based on the sutural closure, we can able to identify the age of the person. Age of the person. So these are the sutures. So I added sutures also. So coronal sutures, then sagittal suture, then squamosal suture, and a lambdoidal suture. There is 4 important sutures which are coronal, sagittal, squamosal, and lambdoidal. So you can able to see in the image that this is the coronal suture. So what is the coronal suture? This is the frontal bone, and these are the parietal bones. So the suture in between the frontal bone and 2 parietal bones. So the suture in between the frontal bone and 2 parietal bone. This, whatever this line is the coronal suture. It is in between the frontal bone and 2 parietal bones. That is the coronal suture. Then coming to the sagittal suture. Sagittal suture, actually it is the 2 parietal bones are there above the head or above the skull, and in between that 2 parietal bone there is a suture which is the sagittal suture. Sagittal suture. Then the squamosal suture. So you can able to see in the image. See this in between this squamosal in between the parietal bone and also temporal bone. There is again 2 squamosal sutures in each side of the skull. So in between the parietal bone and also this temporal bone. So in between the parietal bone and also temporal bone, there is one suture. This actually it is fused in this skull. So it is very old skull. So because I mean based on that suture closure, we can able to say that it is very old skull. So you can able to see in this. So you can able to see this line. Actually, this is a suture. It was not much closed. So it is some young adult skull. So you can able to see that lines. Then this is in the squamosal suture. Then lambdoidal suture. So lambdoidal suture is actually this whatever the two parietal bones and the last one or back one, which is the occipital bone. So in between these two, this is the you can able to see it clearly. Actually, this is the lambdoidal suture in between this occipital bone and also this two parietal bones. So just to focus on the structure of these two skulls. So whenever you are observing these two skulls, so there is some difference between these two occipital bones, occipital bones. So if you observe this skull, this is actually having smooth occipital bone, smooth occipital bone. But if you observe this skull, there is some protuberance. Protuberance are bulge-like structure present on the this occipital bone. So if any skull is having this bulge-like structure on that occipital bone, we can call it as occipital protuberance, occipital protuberance, and it indicates that this is the male skull. This is the male skull. Male persons only having that protuberance of the occipital bone. And also, whenever we touch our head, also if we touch any boy skull and I mean boy head and girl head, we can able to feel that bulge-like structure on the skull or bulge-like structure on the occipital bone. So this is indicating that sex of the person, whether female or male. And these all are about the sutures of the skull: coronal, sagittal, squamosal, and lambdoidal suture. Then coming to facial bones. So the cranial bones are 8 bones and facial are 14 bones. That is 14 facial bones. So two zygomatic bones. So zygomatic bones, and these two, whatever the cheek bones, these are the two zygomatic bones, 1 and 2. Then lacrimal bones. Lacrimal bones means eye bones. Eye bones are the lacrimal bones. Then one mandible, which is the lower jaw, lower jaw. So you can able to see here, this is the whatever the cheek bones. These are the cheek bones, which are zygomatic bones. We can also call them as cheek bones. Then lacrimal bones are the eye bones, and mandible is the lower jaw. See, this is the lower jaw. This is actually this part of the skull. So this is the lower jaw. This is the lower jaw, and only movable bone in the skull. So we are discussing about the 14 cranial bones. 14 facial bones and 8 cranial bones, and that all remaining bones are immovable in the skull. But only the movable bone is the mandible, which is lower jaw. We can call it as lower jaw. And the next one is the maxillae or upper jaw. So this is the lower jaw, and the upper teeth, which are having upper teeth. Which bone is the maxillar, upper jaw? Actually, these are 2 bones. Actually, mandible is the 1 bone. After fusing, it is becoming 1 bone only. But the upper jaw, it is actually 2 bones. 2 bones. Then the palatine bones, which is the roof of the mouth. If we open our mouth, that roof of the mouth is this palatine bone. So you can able to see here, this is the roof of the mouth. Then 2 nasal bones, which means nose. So coming to the nose, there is different bones again. 2 nasal bones, 2 inferior turbinate bones, then 1 warmer bone. So these 3, whatever the 2 nasal bones, 2 inferior turbinate bones, and 1 warmer bone, these are related to the nose. So I'll explain about individual bones again here. So first one is the zygomatic bones. So these are the cheek bones, which are the zygomatic bones. So these, whatever cheek bones, so these are the cheek bones. Then these are the cheeks actually. Then lacrimal bone. So these eyes, whatever the eye hole, which is the lacrimal bone. Then this thing, mandible or lower jaw. Actually, this is mandibular lower jaw, and this bone is helpful in the identification of the age. So age identification is possible from the teeth. So teeth are there in the mandible. So from this mandible, from the teeth, we can able to identify the age of the person. So based on the eruption and calcification of the tooth, we can able to identify the age. And this is about the mandible. We can also call it as lower jaw. And this is the only movable bone in the lower jaw. Only movable bone in the skull. And these all are the important points, and these all are the important for the forensic UGC method. Then maxillary bones, so upper jaw bones. So there is 2 bones actually, 2 upper jaw bones. So these 2 are having actually these two bones. There is gap between these 2 bones. Though they are looking like fused one, there is gap between these 2 bones. Then the palatine bone, so roof of the mouth is the palatine bone. So you can able to see in this images only these all bones. So palatine bones are 2 bones. So this is the roof of the mouth. Then the nasal bones, there is 2 nasal bones. You can able to see here. This is the nasal bone. So this, whatever the outside bones only the nasal bones, outside bones only the nasal bones, two sides, two bones, so two bones. Then inferior turbinate conchae. So inferior turbinate conchae. So as I said, outer bones are the nasal bones. So the inside, if you observe inside, there is also two bones. So which are inferior turbinate bones or inferior turbinate conchae. So these are the two bones. Then next one is the warmer bone, warmer bone. So this, whatever the nasal sill or nasal, this sharp like structure, this is the nasal warmer bone, which is only one bone. So these four are related to, these three are related to the nasal bone. Palatine bone is the roof of the mouth. Then we are having palatoprints also. If you feel, if you're able to touch your roof of the mouth with your tongue, you can able to feel that marks on the palatine bone, which also having the equal importance like fingerprints, because that palatine prints are palatoprints, which are also individual to the every person. And nasal bones, inferior turbinate bones are inferior turbinate conchae, then warmer. These three are related to the nose. So then coming to the fontanelles, as I said, whenever the baby was born, that all whatever the all skull bones are not actually fused. There is opens like this. So this, these like open. So whenever we are observing this adult skull, we are not able to see any opening. But whenever we are observing that little old baby or infant or newborn, then we can able to see that fontanelles on that skull of the baby. And also, so that whenever we are handling that little babies, we should hold our hand, we should hold their head with our hand with safely. So because that bones are actually in the loose condition, they are not actually fused. So it is looks like this. Then the space between these, whatever the bones, we can call it as fontanelles, and there is different fontanelles again in the skull. So anterior fontanelle means that front one. So the in between the frontal bone and this two parietal bones, that is the anterior fontanelle. Then the posterior fontanelle. So as I said, backside bone is the occipital bone. So between the occipital bone and this parietal bone, the hole is the, or the opening is the posterior fontanelle. Then sphenoid fontanelle. So one side bone is the, this opening of one side is the each side of the skull is the sphenoid fontanelle. Then the mastoid fontanelle, at the mastoid bone region. So you can able to see here this one large opening. This is the mastoid fontanelle. So these four are the fontanelle. So that anterior fontanelle, you can able to see in the second image that whatever the big opening in between the frontal bone and the parietal bone, and this frontal bone, you can able to see this frontal bones are two, actually two bones, but they are actually fused into only one frontal bone. The two frontal bones are actually fused into one frontal bone only. So we can call it as one bone only. So whenever in the baby was born, you can able to see this large opening, which is the anterior fontanelle. We can also call it as bregma, bregma, bregma. We can also call it as bregma. Then coming to the bones of the middle ear, which are the smallest bones in the body. And there is three bones again, malleus, incus, stapes. So in individual ear, there is three bones. So individual, 2 ears are having 3 plus 3, 6 bones. So malleus, incus and stapes. Malleus, incus and stapes. So these three are the malleus, incus and stapes. So you can able to see these where it is. This is the malleus. This is the malleus bone, and this is the incus bone, and this is the stapes. So the stapes bone is the smallest bone in the human body. So based on the shape of their bones, we can also call them as hammer, anvil, and stirrup. So this is the anvil shape. Whatever the malleus is the hammer shape, and the incus is the anvil shape, and the stapes is the stirrup shape. So these are the malleus, incus, stapes, and we can also call them as hammer, anvil, stirrup respectively. Then coming to the hyoid bone, I may not able to show the hyoid bone because it is individual bone. We are not having that. So this is the neck bone is the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone, it is actually in the U shape. So this, whatever the U shape, which is the hyoid bone. So it is very helpful in case of hanging to identify whether it is hanging or any type of other asphyxia or any type of throttling, strangulation, hanging, whether it is suicidal hanging or whether the person was actually murdered, then after dead body was hanged. In that cases, we can identify whether it is post-mortem hanging or pre-mortem hanging with the help of this U-shaped bone, which is the hyoid bone or neck bone. It is the only bone in the throat or neck. And then bones in the thorax, bones in the thorax. So you whatever able to see in the second image, which is the thorax region. So they are actually connecting backward to the thoracic vertebrae. So this is the thorax and the backside is the thoracic vertebrae. So these all are the vertebral bones. Sorry, these all are the rib bones. Rib bones are thorax bones. So thoracic bones is having two types of bones. One is the ribs and second one is the sternum. So the middle part is the actually sternum. So you can able to see this is the sternum. Actually, this is not original bone. This is the plaster of Paris bone. So same like this, there is also one original bone, which is the sternum, which is the breastbone, breastbone. So breastbone, and the remaining are these are these things, ribs. So coming to this ribs, there is 12 pairs of ribs. So we can divide them into the three types of ribs. So they're actually true ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. True ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. So what are the true ribs? Actually, there is 7 pairs of the true ribs. First, you focus on the number. So true ribs are actually 7 pairs in number. Then false ribs are there is only 3: 8th bone, 9th bone, and 11th ribs. Their pairs. Then floating ribs are last 2 pairs are the floating ribs. So if you can able to see this diagram, so that whatever the 7 pairs are actually that individually they are connecting to this sternum. That 7 pairs are individually connecting to this sternum. That are true ribs, true ribs. Then coming to the false ribs, actually that false ribs of 8th, 9th, 10th bones, actually that 3 bones are combining, and only they are attaching to the sternum only at the one region, not like the two ribs, not like the individually. They are again only that 8th, 9th, 10th bones are actually attaching to the sternum only at the one region, which is the false ribs. Then the floating ribs, actually in the back side they are connected to the thoracic vertebrae, but in the front side they are actually floating. They are not connected to the sternum. They are not connected to the sternum. So which are floating ribs, So these are the 2 types of ribs. So you can focus on the terminology and the number: true ribs, false ribs, floating ribs. True ribs are 7 pairs, then false ribs are 8th, 9th, 10th pair, then floating ribs are the last 2 pairs, 11th and 12th pair. So there is 12 pairs of the rib bones. Then coming to the sternum, this is the sternum. So you can able to see it as it is sternum. So it is having actually 3 parts in the sternum. So manubrium, body, and xiphoid process. So the first one is the manubrium. This is the manubrium. Then the middle portion is the body, and the last one is the xiphoid process. And this is very helpful in the age identification. And also based on the size of this sternum, we can also able to identify the sex. Because from the skeleton we may not only focus on the one part for identifying age or sex. So based on different parts, we can able to identify the age and the sex. So this is one part we can use for the sex identification and also age identification. So actually these are the 3 bones. They are combining into form only one bone, which is the sternum. But before that, again, this whatever the body is actually having 4 parts. So 4 parts that is fusing into only one part, which is the body. And again, these 3 parts are fusing into one bone, which is the sternum bone. So this is enough. So you focus on the terminology again: manubrium, body, xiphoid process. These 3 are the parts in the sternum. These 3 are fusing and forming only one bone, which is the sternum. We can also call it as breastbone. Then the segments fused to form flat long bone, which is the actually that to this sternum that the ribs are actually attaching. These are the rib parts only. So ribs are coming and attaching to this sternum bone. And coming to the vertebral column, we all know that vertebral column, it is having 33 bones again. So that whatever the ribs which are attaching to the sternum front side and back side, they are attaching to the vertebral column or vertebral bones. So there is vertebral, these vertebral bones are again divided into 5 parts or 5 types of bones. So you can able to see these labelings also. These are the 5 types of bones. So first one is the cervical vertebrae. So the cervical vertebrae, which is actually, so the back side of the body, it is having vertebral column. So there is divided in that 33 vertebral bones are divided into 5 parts, which are cervical vertebrae, which is having that 7 bones, so 7 bones in the cervical vertebrae. Then the next one is the thoracic vertebrae, which is having 12 bones. which is having 12 bones. Thoracic vertebrae is having 12 bones, and actually that whatever the ribs which are attaching to the sternum front side and back side to the thoracic vertebrae, which are thorax. The thorax region is having ribs. So the 12 pairs of ribs actually connecting to the sternum in front side and back side in the thoracic vertebrae. Then lumbar vertebrae, there is 5 bones. So 5 bones in the lumbar vertebrae. Then, so these three are the main types. Cervical vertebrae, 7 bones, then thoracic vertebrae, 12 bones, and lumbar vertebrae, which are 5 bones. So 5 bones. Then the sacral vertebrae, which is having actually 5 bones. 5 bones, actually, these are the 5 bones. You can able to see here. These are the 5 bones. So up to here. So these are the 5 bones. They are fusing into one, which are forming like sacrum. Then the coccygeal vertebrae, that whatever the last part is the coccygeal vertebrae, which are actually 4 bones. So which are actually 4 bones, which are forming only one bone with fusing, which is the coccyx. So these are the 5 parts in the vertebral column. So cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal vertebrae, which are having these all bones, which are 33 bones. So this is about the vertebral column, individually about this vertebral column. So vertebral column, which is actually having this cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, and lumbar vertebrae. You can able to see these images. These are the cervical vertebrae. So you can able to see this cervical vertebrae. Actually, it is like this. Then these are actually 2 bones. Yes, these are the cervical. I'll show again. So then the thoracic vertebrae. So this is the thoracic vertebrae, then the lumbar vertebrae. So they based on their structure, they're having different structures again. So the cervical vertebrae, actually coming to this first one, cervical vertebrae, there is 2 main bones, which are the first bones in the cervical vertebrae, or which are the first bones in the vertebral column. So actually atlas and axis. Atlas is the first cervical vertebrae. This down one is the axis and first one is the atlas. Okay, atlas is the first cervical vertebrae and the second one is the axis, which is second cervical vertebrae. So the axis is the having this axis-like structure, which is dense-like structure and axis-like structure. So we can call it as axis bone, and this one is the atlas. So the important question is the first cervical vertebrae is atlas and second cervical vertebrae is axis. So I just especially added these 2 bones. So you can able to see here this bone, it is having this dense-like structure. This is the axis. Yes, this is the axis bone. This is the second bone, and this is the first bone. So we are placing this like this. So actually they are like this in the our vertebral column. So this is the first bone, which is the atlas, and the second bone is the axis. So they are fusing like this. So these 2 are the first bones of the cervical vertebrae, first and second bones. Then coming to the thoracic vertebrae. So the thoracic vertebrae, so you can able to see here, this is the thoracic vertebrae, same as it is in the picture. So this is the thoracic vertebrae. So this is the thoracic vertebrae. Then there is 12 number in the thoracic vertebrae. I mean that 12, whatever the ribs they are connecting to this 12 ribs are they are connecting here. They are connecting here with this thoracic vertebral bone, individual thoracic vertebral bone. Then coming to the this lumbar vertebrae, actually there is 5 in the number. So you can able to see here like this, or like this. You can able to see them. This is good. So this is the question. Lumbar vertebrae, there is five lumbar vertebral bones. Then come into the sacral vertebrae. So as I showed, this is the sacrum bone. So it is actually fused with this coccyx also. And sacral vertebra bone, there is 5 sacral vertebra bones. They are all fused into sacrum. Then this is the sacrum, and the lower part is the coccyx or coccygeal vertebrae. There is actually 4 to 5 bones in the coccyx, and they are fused into form only one bone, which is the coccyx. So that's sacrum and coccyx. Then these all about the these all about the axial skeleton. So in the axial skeleton, we discussed about the skull bones, which are having cranial and facial bones, and also the thorax bone, which is having ribs and sternum, 12 pairs of ribs and 1 sternum. Then also the thorax bone. This is the hyoid bone we discussed about, and also vertebral column, which is having 33 bones. So these all bones we discussed in the axial skeleton. Then come into the appendicular skeleton. Then the pectoral girdle. In the appendicular skeleton, there is pectoral girdle. So you can able to see here, this is the collarbone and backside of the collarbone, which is the shoulder bone. So it is actually made of this collar and shoulder bone. So the names of that bones are, collarbone is the clavicle. Then the shoulder bone is the scapula. So the scapula, we can also call it as the shoulder bone. We can also call it as the shoulder bone. So this is the shoulder bone. This is the shoulder bone. So whenever it is like this, from the back side, it is like this. So, oh sorry, it is like this side. So this is the shoulder bone, and you can call it as scapula or shoulder blade, shoulder bone, or the scapula. Scapula is the original term of the bone. Then coming to the clavicle. So this is the clavicle. So there is again two scapulas in the body and also two clavicles in the body. So this are the collarbones or clavicle. So this scapula and clavicle. So two collarbones, two shoulder bones, which are forming four bones. These four bones we can call it as pectoral girdle. So next one is the bones of the upper limbs. So bones of the hands are upper limbs. So the humerus, radius, and ulna. These three are the bones of the upper limbs. So the main bones of the upper limbs, and it is continuation. There is continuation bones also in the upper limbs. So these three are the bones. So this humerus. So this is the humerus. We can able to see the humerus bone. So this is the humerus. Yes, this is as it is in the image. So you can able to see this. This is the humerus bone, which is this one, which is this bone. This bone is the humerus bone. So the next one is the radius. So the radius bone. So in the next, you can able to see in the second image, there is radius bone and ulna. So these are actually here. So thumb side bone is the radial bone and little finger side bone is the ulna. Yes, radius and ulna. So the radius, it is the radius. So if you observe that radius structure, there is this round radius, one button-like structure. If whatever the button-like structure which is having this bone, we can call it as radius bone. So the radius bone, easy identification for the radius bone is this button-like structure, this round button-like structure. So this is the radius bone. The next one is the ulnar bone. So these two are actually in the one place only. They are fused like this. They are actually fused like this. So these two are these bones. These two actually connected like this, radius and ulna. So the connection like this. So we can able to see that entire bones. This is the humerus, radius and ulna. So this is the upper limbs bones or hand bones. So you can also able to see in the third image. So these two are the radius and ulna. Then coming to the bones of the hand. I'm unable to show that bones of the hand, but you can able to see in this image. So the bones of hands are having carpal bones or wrist bones. So these carpal bones are wrist bones, whatever the wrist area is having wrist bones, you can able to see in the violet color, which is the carpal bones. Then the next one is the metacarpal bone. So this whatever the hand, this whenever we are closing hand, these bones are the metacarpal bones. And remaining finger bones are the phalanges, and these phalanges are again divided like proximal phalanges, intermediate phalanges, and distal phalanges. So whenever we are observing our hand, there is there is no intermediate phalanges in the thumb. So thumb is having only two phalanges bones, and the remaining fingers are having three phalangeal bones. Phalanges bones. So these are the bones in the hands. I'll also explain here. So the carpal bones. So whenever it is coming to the hand, we can call it as carpal bones. So whenever it is coming to the legs, that whatever the ankle part of the leg, we can call them as the tarsal bones. So here carpal are wrist bones. They are 8 in number. Actually arranged in the 2 rows. So the names are important here for that 8 bones. So the first are proximal, in the first line they are having scaphoid bone, lunate bone, triquetral bone, and pisiform bone in the first row. In the second row there is having this trapezium, trapezium bone. So these are the bones. So these are the bones in the carpal wrist bones. Carpal wrist bones. So there is a different number again in these bones: scaphoid, lunate, equitral, pisiform bone, and the trapezium, trapezium or trapezoid bone. So these are the bones in the this thing, carpal bone. So based on the fusing of these bones, based on the fusing of these carpal bones, we can able to identify the age up to the 11 years. So the one previous question that if you observe the old previous questions of the UGC net, not a recent one, old one, there is definitely one common question, repeating question, that which of the following carpal bone is the last to fuse? Which of the following carpal bone is the last to fuse? Which is the pisiform bone. Pisiform bone. I observed that four old UGC net previous question papers. In that all four previous question papers, there is common question that this is the which of the following carpal bone is the last bone to fuse, which is the pisiform bone. Pisiform bone. So the next coming to the metacarpal palm bones. So this is the palm bones. Palm bones are the metacarpal bones, which are actually 5 bones. So 5 bones. So that is enough, 5 bones. Then the this after the metacarpals, phalanges are finger bones. Phalanges are finger bones. So there is 2 phalanges in the thumb. Thumb is having 2 phalanges, and remaining fingers are having 3 phalanges. 3 phalanges. So there is 14 bones. 14 bones in the fingers. Next, so these all are the hand bones. Hand bones. So they are becoming 60 bones. So the humerus, radius, ulna, and humerus, radius, ulna, and also this carpal bones, these metacarpal bones, and phalanges. So that all are becoming 30 bones. So 30, 30. 2 hands is the same bones. So 30 plus 30, 60 bones. Then coming to the pelvic girdle, pelvic girdle. So you can able to see here, these actually the down bones are the lower limbs and leg bones. Then this is actually the vertebral column. So these are the vertebral bones. Again, this is the sacrum and this is the coccyx. So in each side of this sacrum and the coccyx, there is 2 bones, which are the pelvic bones and pelvic girdle. We can call it as the pelvic girdle, pelvic girdle. So you can able to see, this is the this thing, what sacrum and coccyx, sacrum and coccyx. So you can able to see this 2 bones actually. So these 2 are actually this bones. So these 2 are actually this bones. So same like this, you can able to see like this. So this actually same like image. So same, just a moment. So same like image, you can able to see here. Yes. So this is this thing. Actually, we are having 2-3 skeleton bones. So this is not exactly matching with this. Okay, somehow. So this is about the pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle. I hope you are able to see that sacrum and coccyx, and also these 2 are the pelvic bones. Pelvic bones. So the you can also able to see here that pelvic girdle. It is connection between the trunk, and lower extremities. So the trunk, it is connection between the trunk of the body, the pelvic girdle of the body, and lower extremities or lower bones. Then they are formed by the 2 innominate bones, which are present at each side of the sacrum and coccyx. So these 2 are the that innominate bones. The 2 bones in the this thing, pelvic girdle, pelvic girdle. So these 2 bones again having different parts. So whatever the parts are position of different these bones, we can having different terminology, so that we can easily understanding the sex identification. So that important one is the sex identification is possible mainly with the pelvic girdle. So that 99% of the sex identification is possible with the pelvic girdle. I mean, with using pelvic girdle, we can able to identify the 99% accurate sex from this pelvic bones or pelvic girdle. So this is the front of these bones, and if I turn like this, you can able to see this. This is the acetabulum. So that whatever the whole leg structure, which is the acetabulum, actually there is the femur bone, which is the leg bone. It is actually comes and fits into this. So like this. So this is the lower limb bone or femur bone, and this pelvic girdle. So this is the acetabulum, where this bone is coming and placing in this. So this is we can able to see the same structure in this thing. So here it is actually fixing like this. Okay. So this is about the pelvic girdle. So after pelvic girdle, there is many things in the pelvic girdle, but here no need of that thing because there is only two bones, that is enough. Then coming to the lower limbs bones are the legs bones. So the femur bone. So the femur bone, this is the femur bone. So this is the longest and strongest bone in the body. Longest and strongest bone in the body. So see how much it is long. So this is the longest and that bone. So we can also call it as thigh bone, because it is the area of the thigh, or region of the thigh. So the location of the bone is the thigh. So we can also call it as thigh bone. So this is the femur bone. So you can able to see the structures like this. So this is the above part of the femur, and this is the shafted. This is the below part of the femur. So here we can able to attach that, the remaining bones, below bones of the leg. So this is the longest and strongest bone of the skeleton. Then patella. So you can able to see in this middle image, there is one patella bone, which is a kneecap, that whatever our knees, that there is cap, we can call it as kneecap. That is the patella bone. So individual leg is having one patella bone. So that two bones again. So here we cannot get that kneecap. Oh, sorry. It is actually like this. This is the below bone. So you can able to see like this. This is actually yes. It's actually like this. So actually here there is that thing which is the patella bone. So the patella bone, which is the sesamoid bone. So it is comes under the sesamoid type bone. For example, these are the long bones. Same like there is sesamoid bones. So these are the long bones. Then flat bones are skull bones. These cranial bones are the flat bones. Same like that sesamoid bone, which is the patella, which is the largest bone in the sesamoid bones. So this is about this thing. So you can able to see the first image. It is about the femur, and the second image it is about the patella, and how it is like that. Whatever the femur bone, it is connected to the pelvic girdle as I shown, and there is patella bone below the femur bone. Then this is about the tibia. So tibia, actually this is the tibia. It is the below part of the femur. So I just show again once. So this is the below part of this thing. So there is one bone. It is actually not fixing. Okay, just a minute. So there is also one bone which is also present along with this. So it looks like this. So it is like this. There is two bones which are tibia and fibula. So tibia and fibula. So the tibia is this one. Whenever we are observing this two below, actually you don't get confused with this tibia and the femur. Femur is actually having this round structure, which is actually fitting into that pelvic girdle. But this whatever the tibia, it is not having any round like structure. So this is the above bone, and these two are the below bones. So whenever we are observing these below bones, so so this is the tibia. That fat bone is the tibia, and then this then fibula is the slender bone or thin bone. So actually these two bones are connecting. So this is like this. So these two bones are connecting. So tibia and fibula. Tibia also called as shin bone or shank bone. Then that fibula, it is the slender bone, long bone only. Same like hands, which are legs also having three bones. So same like hands, humerus, radius, ulna, and for legs it is femur, tibia, and fibula. So you can able to see in the image. This is the femur, and these two are the tibia and fibula. Tibia is the fat bone, and fibula is the thin bone. Then these two like this, they two are arranged like this. Then coming to bones of the ankle and foot, same like hand, that ankle and foot bone, same like hand, foot bone. So we are discussing about that bones. So the bones of the foot can be classified same like. So first I am again explaining about the hand. So this is the wrist bone. We can call it as carpal bones. These wrist bones are the carpal bones. There is 8 carpal bones. Then the metacarpal bones are palm bones, which are actually 5. Then finger bones are phalanges bones. There are actually 14 bones. So 8, 5, 14. For hand it is 8, 5, 14. But coming to the legs, it is 7, 5, 14. 7, 5, 14. So again, they are becoming 30 bones in the upper and lower limbs. How? Because there is only 7 bones in the leg. Whenever coming to the hand, there is 8 bones, okay. But whenever coming to the legs, again, there is one extra bone, which is the patella or a kneecap. So that kneecap is there actually, so that here one bone was decreased. So there is this thing. In the coming to the hand, there is 8 bones in the wrist, but coming to the ankle of the leg, there is 7 bones only. So the tarsal bones are actually 7 bones. So there is 7 bones, tarsal bones. We can call it as tarsal bones. Then coming to the hand, the whatever the wrist, we can call it as carpal bones. Carpal bones. Coming to the leg, ankle, we can call it as tarsal bones. The same like metatarsal bones, there is 5 bones. Then phalangeal bones, there is 14 bones. So the thumb, same like hand, thumb is having 2 bones and remaining fingers are having this three bones. Same like here also that toe. First toe is having 2 bones and remaining fingers are having three bones. So there is again 14 bones. 14 bones. So this is the number, tarsal, metatarsal, and phalangeal. So the tarsal bones are 7 in number, like calcaneus bone, which is the largest bone of the foot. So this is the previous question, that which of the following is the largest bone of the foot. So this is the calcaneus bone, which is heel bone, heel bone. So whenever we are stepping, that whatever the foot area, whatever the heel area, which is the calcaneus bone. Then the talus bone and the navicular bone or scaphoid bone. Then the cuneiform bones, there is 3 cuneiform bones. Then the cuboid bone. So these all are becoming 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 bones are there in the tarsal bones. Then the metatarsal bones, that foot bones. So there is 5 bones, metatarsal. Then phalangeal bones, there is 14 bones. So 2 for the first toe and 3 for the rest of the fingers. There is 14 phalangeal bones. Then proximal phalanges, I mean that same like the fingers, same like hand phalangeal bones. There is the proximal, intermediate, and distal phalanges. Same like hand for legs also, there is proximal phalanges, intermediate, and distal phalanges bones. So these all are about the bones. So we discussed about these all bones. So there is 206 bones in the adult human body. So we discussed about the all 206, which are divided actually into the axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton, axial and appendicular skeleton. So this is about the skeleton system. So there is one special note, which is special thanks to my madam, who is Dr. T. Soumya madam. She is assistant professor in the forensic science unit, our college in Osmania University. Very, very special thanks to her. And yes, I started Noble Forensics with a little thought that she is there. Because of she, I started this organization. What I want. Okay, so we discussed about the axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. There is 206 bones. So the axial skeleton, which is including the skull. So in the skull, there is 22 bones. So the 22 bones are the cranial bones and the facial bones. So the cranial bones are 8 in number and the facial bones are 14 in number. So the 14 and 8, they are becoming 22 skull bones. Then the neck bone. So the skull bones are also including this mandible, which comes in the facial bone, which is only the movable bone in the skull. In the skull or in the head, there is only one movable bone, which is this mandible, mandibular lower jaw. And also there is again remaining that facial bones and cranial bones, and also we discussed about the sutures of that cranial bones and also fontanelles. And this back part, so this is the frontal bone, these two are the parietal bones, and the back one is the occipital bone. So if it is having any bulge-like structure or occipital protuberance, then it is belongs to the male skull. Usually the female skull, it is like smooth one. So there is any bulge-like structure, we can call it as the male skull. Male skull usually having that bulge-like structure and that occipital bone, back side of the bone. So this is about the skull. So after skull, there is neck. So the neck bone is having that below the neck is having one bone, which is the hyoid bone. Then the thorax region is having that thoracic, the ribs. So we are having this breastbone or the sternum. So this thoracic region including the two types of bones, which is the sternum one and the ribs. So sternum and ribs. So the ribs are actually, they are connecting front side to the this sternum and back side to the thoracic vertebrae. Thoracic vertebrae. So the front side it is the sternum and also ribs. There is 12 pairs of the ribs. So this whatever the sternum, it is having three parts again. So manubrium body and xiphoid process. Manubrium body and the xiphoid process, it is helps in the sex identification and also in the age identification based on its fusing. So continuation, this ribs are actually connected to the sternum and also the backside to the thoracic vertebrae. So this sternum is helpful in the sex identification and age identification. Then after that, coming to the ribs, there is 24 ribs or 12 pairs of the ribs. 12 pairs of the ribs. So then after that, the vertebral column, which is having 33 bones again, 33 bones. So they are having the cervical vertebrae. So the first bone is the atlas and the second bone is the axis in the cervical vertebrae, atlas and axis. Then after that, there is again the remaining thoracic vertebrae. So after this cervical vertebrae, there is thoracic vertebrae, which are actually connecting to the ribs. So there is thoracic vertebrae. Then after that, lumbar vertebral bones. Then after that, there is sacral vertebrae bones, which are actually 5 fused into one bone. Then the coccyx are coccygeal vertebrae, which are actually 4 to 5 bones fused into one bone. So these all bones about the vertebral column. So we discussed about the skull and vertebral column and thorax and also hyoid bone. So these all bone comes under the axial skeleton. Then come into the appendicular skeleton, which are having upper limbs, lower limbs, and pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle means this clavicular collarbone and shoulder bone are scapula. So this is the scapula, the shoulder bone, which is actually like here or like here. So this is the actually scapula or shoulder bone or shoulder blade. Then coming to the clavicle. This is the clavicle, which is actually having here at the collar area. So it is collarbone or clavicle. Actually, this clavicle is fused into this shoulder bone. And also in front side, this is actually fused into this shoulder bone and also to the rib sternum. So it is also fusing into this sternum. So this, whatever you are able to see this, actually this is the plaster of Paris one. So this, whatever you are able to see this, is actually the clavicle. So this is the clavicle. So this part, and this is the actually the continuation for this one, shoulder bone. So this is actually like this. So after this pectoral girdle, which is including 2 clavicle bones, 2 scapular bones, then about the pelvic girdle. So this is about the pelvic girdle. Actually, this is the pelvic girdle. So it is very helpful in the sex identification. We mainly focus on the pelvic girdle for sex identification. So it is actually having each side of this bone. Each side of sacrum bone. We are having this pelvic girdle, and actually this below portion of the pelvic girdle, it is actually fusing with this femur bone. So it is fusing with the femur bone. So this is about the pelvic girdle. There is only 2 bones in the pelvic girdle. Then after pelvic girdle, we are discussing about the upper and lower limbs. So coming to the upper limbs, there is in individual hand there is a long bone. This is the humerus. So this is the humerus. Then the below these bones are the radius and ulna. This is the radius, which is having this button-like structure. So this is the radius. Then this is the ulna. So this radius and ulna. This is this thing. Humerus, radius, and ulna. These are the upper hand parts. So hand parts. Then about this hand, whatever the hand which is having this carpal bones, which are 8 in number, then the metacarpal bones, which are 5 in number, then phalanges 14 in number. This is about the hand. So there is 30 bones, then again 30, 60 bones in the upper hands, then the lower limbs. Lower limbs are having same 30, 60 bones, then come into the lower limbs, which is the femur bone, which is the longest, strongest bone in the body. So this is connecting with these things. This is connecting actually, sorry, this is the above one. So this is connecting with the femur. Femur is connecting with the tibia and fibula. So tibia is the fat bone and the fibula is the thin bone. So these are actually, there is in between these two of the femur and femur and this whatever the fibula and tibia, there is one bone which is the kneecap or patella. So they are becoming. So these are the hand bone, these are the leg bones. So this is the femur, tibia, fibula. There is one kneecap, and also kneecap or patella bone. So these are the four bones. Then the remaining bones are like in the coming to the leg. If it is a leg, then again the ankle area we can call it as tarsal bone. There is 7 tarsal bone. Then the whatever the metatarsal bone or which foot bones are 5, and also phalanges bones are 14. So this is all about the skeleton system. So we discussed about the skeleton system, 206 bones. Okay. So human skeleton system. So it is having axial. We discussed about the skull, hyoid bone, vertebral column bone, rib cage, and sternum in the axial skeleton. Then coming to the appendicular, we discussed about the pectoral girdle bones, which are clavicle and scapula, then pelvic girdle bones, then upper limbs and lower limbs. So this is about the skeleton system, axial and appendicular skeleton. Okay.